Gaye DeRusso with the Majestic Rider. So today's podcast, I'm going to talk about herd dynamics with the horse. When you're trying to figure out issues with your horse, you're really trying to think like the horse and not like the human. And again, this goes back to prey animal versus predator. Horses are prey and humans are predator. And you can go back to that podcast if you haven't listened to it. But the more you understand about horses, the easier they become to train, handle, and to be safe around. And don't you want the best for your horse? So it's best to learn as much about them as you can. Learn their language, learn how they think, and you'll be much more successful with them. So let's talk about herds. When you see horses out in the wild, a mare is usually leading the herd. It's an experienced mare, not a young mare. It's an experienced mare, one that's brave, one that is sensitive, one that is focused. It is one that they have tested that makes good decisions and doesn't get all the other horses in trouble. She tells them when there is danger to worry about. She tells them when there's danger to be aware about but not yet run. And she tells them when they are alerted to something they are worried about that they think is danger, that it is not, and just to calm down and go back to eating or relaxing. So remember, the horse in nature is looking to another horse with all those qualities. Okay? Then all the horses are in a social order in between that. They figure that out by biting, kicking, testing each other every day to see where they are in that social order. The horses that are more up front by that leader, well, guess what? Those are going to be the horses that are safest. The horses that are more submissive and are more in the back, or what they consider the weaker horses, are the ones that are going to be more likely picked off. Okay? So the safest horses are not the horses by the stallion, but the horses that are by that mare who can get them out of trouble quickly. So they are always paying attention to her and what her actions are. The stallion goes around the herd and he's mostly protecting other stallions from stealing his mares and protecting his babies. Okay? So that's his main job, is to be aggressive, to fight with the other horses, to continue on his bloodlines. Now, he will try to fight predators if possible, but again, even though he will fight with them, he might lose, and then another stallion might step up and take over the active protector. Okay, so it is not the stallion that's leading the herd, it is the mare. Once you understand these dynamics of the herd, you will understand more how the horse thinks. As humans, we try to humanize everything. We try to humanize our dogs, we try to humanize birds, any animals we get, including horses, we try to humanize them. And by doing that, we are not understanding them, which gets many horse owners, horse riders, and horses in big trouble. So when you get a horse, you might think you want to be its friend, and you can. Even the lead mare will love on horses when she wants them to. Okay, she will let them in her space. But she will make it clear that she will let them in when she wants, and she will tell them not to come in when she doesn't want them to. So they have a high respect level for her and her intentions that she puts towards them. Okay? So, with your horse, you have to know that yes, the horse is kind, it is emotional, it likes to love, but it is always looking for a leader. And so if you are just friends with your horse, and you let it into your space, you let it push on you and rub on you because you think that's a nice thing to do for the horse is thinking you are just an object that it is using. You are its friend, but remember, in the herd, if something is chasing them, horses do not wait for their friends. Horses run because their instinct tells them to survive, not to wait for their friends. Okay? So, when something goes wrong and that horse doesn't know what to do, its first thing is going to be to run. So if you really love your horse and want to do the best for your horse, you're trying to understand what it does naturally in nature, because that is what is going to make the horse the most comfortable. Okay? So you can be your horse's friend, but you also want to be its leader. You want that horse to look to you for guidance when it is scared, when it is nervous, when it thinks it needs to run. So you can tell it, yes, this is dangerous. No, this is not dangerous. I will take care of it. You don't worry about this because I have it under control and will tell you when we really need to run. If you do that for the horse will want to be with you all the time. The horse is just seeking safety and peace, and that's what it gets out of the herd. The horse can find food on its own. It can graze pretty easily. It might need help finding water from the leader, but that's why you will see horses in the wild in groups, but you will see horses also alone. Okay? So the horses that are alone feel comfortable being alone and are not seeking the safety of being in a herd and being in a large number. But at times you might see them go into the herd if they were by them and there was some kind of danger coming up that they were unsure they could take care of by themselves. So that is why when horses are with people, they will be fine for many things and you will think they are your best friend, and then all of a sudden on the ground they will run you over, or when you're riding them they will all of a sudden take off, or they will buck or rear or crow hop, because many of those actions are going back to what's in nature. The horse feels unsafe. The horse feels that, yes, you are its friend, but the horse is looking for a leader and you're not there for them. So when they come to the conclusion that you are not going to help them, they go back to their instincts in nature and they go into flight mode, or they might go into fight mode to get away. Ever see somebody trying to load a horse on a trailer and the horse can't get away? What does it do? It might rear up and strike out because it no way wants to go into that box, because it doesn't think that box is safe, and no leader has showed them that the box is safe. So when you are teaching horses, it takes time and patience for you to build their trust in you. And to do that, you need to be a good leader. You need to be just like that head mare. You need to be focused. You need to be aware of how your horse is feeling. And you need to tell them that they are okay. You need to show them what to do to keep themselves comfortable. And you want them to look to you for those cues. So again, if a horse in the herd gets scared, it will usually pop its head up from grazing and put its ears up and focus on where it is. They will then look at the mare, even though their head is up, and see what she does. If she keeps her head down, they most likely will not do anything. Or if the horse is very scared and nervous, the horse might run a little bit and then sees everybody else in the herd is not running and the head mare is not moving at all, and then they realize, oh, sorry, it was just me. And then they put their head back down and immediately start grazing again. That's the relationship you want to have with your horse. It might make mistakes, but it will look to you for comfort. So let's go back to the herd dynamics. And what you need to realize is that the horse will tell you when it is scared if you look for signals. And if you catch those signals, it is much easier to help the horse understand what to do. But if you do not pay any attention, you're not focused, you're not aware that he is feeling uncomfortable, you cannot help the horse. And that is a major issue for many people, is they become friends with the horse, but then they never become the horse's leader. This is a little bit more about herd dynamics. So just like horses, people have friends, but usually in that group of friends, most of the time, there's somebody who's more dominant, who is a natural born leader. And when things go wrong, you're out somewhere, you don't know what to do, that's who you look to for instruction. And if they can actually tell you what you should do in that situation, they make you feel so much more comfortable versus you have no idea what to do and you're panicked. So think about that situation and try to go through it in your mind so you really get to feel how the horse feels. Have you ever been somewhere and nobody knows what to do? Okay? And nobody has any idea. So everybody starts making decisions themselves on what they should do, and it causes chaos. It causes panic. And just think of like when, if you can't think of a situation, when they had you practice in grade school, like fire alarm. This is what we do. The fire alarm goes off. We all go stand by the door in single file, not in a crowd, and then we all slowly move out of the building. You had a plan, you knew what to do, and then there was somebody to guide you in that plan. But even if you knew the plan and then no one's there to instruct you and guide you and make you line up, a lot of those kids would have just ran out the door, fire, fire, and just took off running, not knowing where to go, panic, going down all different stairs. So if something happened, nobody knew where to find them. But with that plan and with that leader, everybody felt comfortable that the teacher was going to get you out of the building if there was a fire. So that's what you're trying to do with your horse. You're trying to practice different scenarios, different things to build that horse's confidence in you that you really do know what you're doing and that you will take care of them if things go bad. And each horse is different. Some will trust you more than others because they were brought up well and treated well, and others were abused and they're really not trusting, and they're going to test you a lot more. And that's why people think they have behavior problems, because they are testing, can you help me? And every day they're testing, can you help me today? And it might take a whole year. It could take 5 years. But after they test you enough, because they've been abused enough, they all of a sudden will trust you. They might not trust anybody else, but they will trust and listen to you if they have a problem. And I think that is a gift that not many people get with abused horses. So you have to build that trust, but you have to understand why they are so bad, why they test so much versus a horse that was never abused and was brought up well. It is those herd dynamics. They are testing to see if you are a good leader. So even in the herd, with the horses out there, they will test that leader. And if she is getting weak and she is getting old and they think she can't see so well or she can't hear so well, then if they give her those tests and she fails, another leader will step up and they will follow that horse instead. And the previous leader will go back in the herd somewhere. So horses are always testing to see if you are aware. And again, even though you might have a calm horse, it does not have many problems. The day it does have an issue, and this is the calls I get, my horse is fine, never did a thing. Today he bucked me off. Okay? The day that horse has an issue and you are not there for them, they twitch an ear, they put their head up, they say, I'm worried. You can feel it in their bodies. They say, I need to move, I am scared. And you do nothing, or you just hold them. They say, you know what? She doesn't have any idea what to do. I'm out of here. And they go into flight, fight, bucking, rearing, and that's how people fall off. That's how people get injured. So even though you want to be your horse's best friend, the best thing you can do for them is, yes, be their friend, but also show them when they need it that you will be their leader.